Love, Mary Lawless Lee. Chapter 1, White Lilies. Keep your eyes wide open. There's so much more to see than what you're looking for. Marshall, Texas is famous for pottery, fire ants, and a courthouse too large and imposing to watch over a city where surprise hardly lives, let alone trouble. Since 1865, it's been the largest manufacturer of red clay planters in America. And there's more gigum per capita here than anywhere else on the earth. At least, it seems that way to me. For years, my family has raised cattle down on Farm Road 2199. They're enormous, gentle creatures with doe eyes and wet noses, who mostly ignore my brother, John, and I, and instead spend all day moaning to the hot sun the way the coyotes call to the moon. We like them well enough, but prefer to climb up into the round hay bales next to their pasture and race each other back and forth across the tops of the giant wheels, leaping between them as far and fast as our legs can muster, hoping we don't fall 7 feet down to the dirt. When we run out of steam, we just sit next to each other, watching the cows walk back and forth as one big black mass, sometimes making a horrible game of guessing how soon the trailer will gather them for slaughter. Kids in Texas don't get sad about cows becoming steak. They get hungry. And kids in Texas get hungry a lot. As soon as you're old enough to throw a ball, you're on a sports team. Dad is mostly in logging now, and Mom is a teacher, but our home is a true ranch home. A calico collection of brownish bricks and brown shag sandwiched between two of my grandfather's Holstein Brahman herds. It's good here, and we know it, even as kids. We don't long for some Narnia or enchanted forest when we have 500 acres of pasture and creek and pond, when we're too young to know time and live instead in a forever golden hour of big skies, bare toes, and family. We know the world is bigger than Marshall. We know about Little Rock and Shreveport, that Grandpa fought in Europe, and that they sent men to the moon. But parts of us refuse to believe any of it. We believe that you should leave the house as soon as you finish your breakfast and spend your day listening to the sound the berry branches make when they bow across the switchgrass. The world beyond us may be big, but I can't be convinced that it holds more freedom. At 9 and 8 years old, respectively, John and I decide we might become fishermen. We like fishing because Dad likes it, and because our older sisters have moved on to things like blue eyeshadow and Pearl Jam. In the evenings after dinner, we peek into the wall of hard-backed books and field guides that is our father's office and find him examining lures under his desk lamp and trawling the classifieds for the absolute perfect boat. His brow, an accordion of joy and frustration, contracts and releases as he reads the local newspaper, considering first a little skiff, then something sturdier for the whole family. John and I are captivated by his deep, quiet, mysterious love for the sport and do our best to try it on for ourselves, imagining the weight of a bass on the line or the muscle of a mean catfish dragged up from deep in the sludge. We can't quite figure out how we'll structure our business. John is 16 months older than I am, so he'll probably have to run the ranch when he's grown. I'm planning to have at least 10 babies, and we both know there's no way they'll all fit in the John boat with me. But we're still determined. We decide that for now, we should start by practicing the fishing part. Summer is an immersion in a new language. Jigs and spoons, swim baits and poppers, stickworms and stinger hooks. We wake before the mild-wide sun, and rubbing our still swollen eyes, trudge down to the pond's edge to catch the bass while they're still half asleep like we are. We chose the pond closest to the house at first, just in case our lines get caught in the gum tree or Mom hollers for us to come finish our workbook assignments. She always makes us do math and writing during the summer. We don't like it at all, but she promises we'll thank her later, and neither of us have the gall to argue with Teacher of the Year about learning. Even though she'd never say it herself, it's true. At only 40 years old, she's by far the best teacher in the school, the district, and the state. Maybe the whole world. Besides, I want to do well. Even at 8 years old, it matters to me. I want to get good grades, be a good cheerleader, and score home runs with my softball team, the Wild Things. Some of the kids just stare up at the clouds, but I want to win. The pond water is opaque and colored rust like the dirt beneath our feet. It gives none of its secrets away except for the occasional, always electrifying bubble. John does better at fishing than I do, and I hate it in secret. He shows off, pulling in a little brim that resigns quickly to the reality of the hook and nearly forgives his clumsy 10-year-old fingers for tearing its lips.